Good morning, Pump Crypto. Let's go. Who's feeling good? Man, I'm so excited about what's going on with this market. I don't care if we get any dip or not. I am ready. I've been packing my bags. Have you been packing your bags? We got some great charts to talk about today on the market. Some really great signals flashing. We got some things to talk about. So let's get it. Let's be prepared to go live here in just a moment. I may be cutting down on that countdown here in a second. I just want to make sure that each and every one of you are feeling good. You got that right headspace. Let's put some positivity in the chat. What are you grateful for today? What's your biggest mover in your portfolio? Let us know. Maybe we weren't paying attention. What's your biggest loser? Maybe, in the last 24 hours, maybe that's something we should be paying attention to. I added a little bit this morning. I posted it in the Discord. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Man, I'm ready for this market to rip. We're about to get it. Everybody throw a one in chat if you are here. Let's see who's here pre-stream. We're about to get this going right now. Let's go ahead and jump this countdown forward 1 minute. We're getting this market going. We're going to be talking about what's going on with this pump. Man, we got some targets we gotta look at. We got some great signals. As you roll in, I want to see some positivity. What is your biggest mover in your portfolio over the last 24 hours? What's your biggest loser? Post it in the live chat right now. If you're watching later, post it down below. We're getting this going. We're talking about what's going on in the market right now. Let's get it. Welcome everybody as you roll in. Everybody hit that like button. Let's talk about this pump. Do we have anything to worry about? What level should we be watching? What are the charts saying? Let's get it. What's up everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. Welcome to the stream. We got some things to talk about. We're jumping right into it today. We got to talk about this market ripping to the upside. I did not change any of these lines. People got mad when you said, man, you could go up, it could go down. It could at any point. At this point right here, if we lost this level, it very well could have come down here and touched down into that $47,000 mark. That did not happen. But what did we do? We planned for both different directions. We planned for upside and downside. And what happened here? Let's look at this price action. Let's get down to the 15-minute. I just want you to notice, look at this. From this point is where I drew it yesterday when the market was right here, and I posted it in the Discord. And what happened? We went a little lower, but then what do? We broke up, came down just like this line suggests, found support, and then got our footing. We said, okay, let's go ahead, put some gas in the tank. Price action pushed up. Where did it stop? At a known level. Look left on the chart. It stopped right here at this previous low range, right here, where we stopped right here. Consolidated. As it consolidated here on this 15-minute chart, we see that the money flow flipped positive here while the price didn't yet react. This was telling you the move was coming. Why? Because money, fuel going in the tank. And what we see, price action started ripping to the upside. This is why using the stoplight action protocol we talk about here on this channel all the time, you don't look for a buy signal. You don't look for a data point. You look for a confluence of data. You want to have multiple signals saying, hey, this is what's going on. In this case, we had 6 bearish divergences right here. Look at that. If you just took this red marker on the BitLab trading stack and said, oh, I got to sell. Well, you also see at the same point, money flows angling up to cross over. We did cross over. So even though we did get a little bit of a pullback right here, this negates this right here. Why? Because we found support above the yellow line, which is on the BitLab Intelligence, part of the BitLab trading stack, the weekly VWAP, and the money flow is increasing, giving us confidence, giving us a signal that the price was about to move higher. And what happened? Boom, pushed up. We got a little bit of a bearish signal here. Kind of makes sense. We're right here at this point of control and this previous a lot of chop zone that we had, but the money flow is increasing. And then what we get, boom, we've pulled back, found support on the 20 moving average right here. Didn't even get down to the trend signal line and the price ripped higher. So did any of you see an increase in your portfolio since yesterday? If any of you are seeing decreases in your portfolio, especially on Bitcoin, it means that you are taking emotional trades, not taking data trades, not looking for the confluence. And so what we're seeing right now is what the market has been telling us that it wants to do for months. So right now, every one of you is enjoying the fruits of the labor. So I want each and every one of you, if you are tuned in right now and you are here live on the stream, I want to see each and every single one of you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, get your notifications turned on so you can join us when we go live. And this, if this is your first time, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. BitLab Academy, this stream here on YouTube, we have the best community. It's positive, empowering. We give you tools, resources. We break down all the different strategies. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the family. If you are new here, let us know. And shout out to all the members that are here. Let's talk about what the market is telling us right now. What is going on? By the way, if you're watching this on any other platform or stream, because I know some this is clipped in some places, make sure you're following us on youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. But we got to talk about this. Alexander G with the 5 gifted BitLab memberships. Big love, support, and thanks to you. And thank you to all the members that help keep this channel going. And, you know, all those memberships, you get all the emojis. We share some content over from the Discord in the members area. You also get access to some of the member streams that we do. But also you're helping keep the channel afloat. So let's talk about this. This is really, do you not see this? If you don't even know what this chart is, what we're looking at is the price action chart of the iShares, the iBit, which is the Blackrock ETF. And what we're seeing here, look at this explosion in volume right here. This is a massive increase in the volume on iBit. This is important because where price is at right now, the explosiveness that we're seeing, the bullishness that we're seeing, you haven't seen anything yet. Oh my gosh. Seeing that we have this happening right here, and we see that we have the Bitcoin price action getting up here, testing and actually breaking. Look at this on the right-hand side here. If we look right here, if I put a little flag at the top, boom, right there. What does that say? Over $52,000. We can also remember on TradingView, when you put your mouse over each individual candle, look up right here. This is OHLC. It's not just an acronym. It's the open of the candle, the high of that candle, the low of that candle, the close of that candle. So if I put my mouse over this and look right here and look at the H, that's high right here. The high of this candle is 52,093, 52,055. Okay, so we can move this down a little bit, you know, somewhere in that region. The point being here is we're making some moves. We're making money moves. And this is what we want to look at right here. I simplify this. I just shared this on the Discover Crypto daily stream. This is a simplified look at what's going on. This was that downtrend that felt like it was never going to end. Looking back, perfectly on schedule for what a bear market does. Regardless of if we had cascading failures or not, the market with all of that selling pressure and fear and loss of confidence and uncertainty with the cascading failures throughout the space, throughout all of that, we had a smaller drawdown on bear market than we've ever had, with all of that negativity weighing on the space. Think about that in the context of what's happening right now with the price action. If we had some of the worst catastrophes, basically just bleeding through the market here, not only in the market, but the sentiment and this was terrible. But somehow the strength of the market held it to not as significant of a drawdown. We didn't get the 80%. We didn't get the 90%. On some of the altcoins we did, but on Bitcoin itself, we had a smaller drawdown in the face of some of the worst failures in history within the space. And then we have this new story here, which is right on schedule for what we've seen when we overlay what's going on in the market with previous cycles. What we're seeing here, though, is a different story. Yes, we're getting a parabola. We've seen parabolas before, but the difference is, and we've talked about this on this channel a lot, we've only had 20% pullback, 20% pullback, 20% pullback. And then what we get right here, 20% pullback. And what are we really seeing here? We're seeing the construction and the endeavored process of what a bull trend is. That is rise, boom, rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation. The question is going to be right here. Are we still looking to get a 40% pullback like we've seen in all previous cycles? That was 50. This from here to here was 55%. From here to here was about 70%. Okay. Now, when we look back here, we had multiple 30 to 45% drawdowns. We've seen this time and time again. The interesting thing about right now, everybody's asking, is this time different? I would argue that we're on the cusp of really being able to say that it is, because of the awareness globally about Bitcoin, the discussions that we're seeing on the mainstream media, which is an entirely different tune than we've seen in the life of Bitcoin. And that is what we see right here with Joe Squawk on Squawk Box talking with SEC Chair Gary Gensler, as well as the other pundits here, completely having a conversation with Gary Gensler and correcting him at every turn. Letting Gary Gensler know that this FUD narrative about Bitcoin being bad for some bullshit excuse that they want to do to limit the growth of Bitcoin and limit it in the minds of people that aren't in it yet, while the dollar is a true loser in the face of when we're talking about illegal activity, money laundering, illicit use, etc. Bitcoin is the winner of not only the year, the decade, and it will be into the future. Let me say that again. Bitcoin is the winner of the day, of the year, over the last decade, and that is not going to stop over the coming 2 or 3 or 4 decades. We're going to see it increase its market share on a currency level, on a storable asset, storable value level. We're going to see it increasing market share in the support of freedom. And in all of this, if we are ahead of the banks, we are ahead of the institutions, and they are on the cusp. We can see it on this chart right here, bringing this up again. The Bitcoin ETF, the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF, you're seeing an explosion of volume, and this is going to lead, as prices push higher, to a flood of new capital coming in as we get free promotional press, organic promotion here when the prices go up. It's talked about on mainstream news outlets. Friends, neighbors, discussions, and we are going to see a flood of capital coming into space, especially as institutions and large businesses start getting this on their balance sheet. Are you not entertained? Are you not prepared? Do you not yet have your bag stacked? I would argue none of us do, because this is something that we will continue to stack into the future, but it's only just begun. It's only just begun. So let's ride this market. Let's talk about what's going on in this price. We got a couple other things. Hidden bullish divergence. This was leading to this move that we had. Look at where we're at right here. This price is sub $50,000. And what do we see? We see right here on this chart, we see sub $50,000, and we see rising higher lows each step of the way, higher highs each step of the way, right here, the market had to find that battle, had to find what the narrative wanted to suggest. What is the narrative? Bulls or bears, okay? And when we see increasing buying pressure like we've seen nonstop since this ETF, not only the speculation into it, but post-ETF, record levels of everything going on with the Bitcoin ETFs, and so many different positive metrics and on-chain, and the structure of where we're at pre-halving. I do believe that we are in for an incredible bull run. And if you don't think so, if you're on the fence about it, you haven't been looking at the charts. And when we see these higher lows growing here, while the strength, less strength was needed. This is called a hidden bullish divergence, meaning less strength was needed as price was just finding support on the way up. This also, what does this mean? This also leads to the possibility of more room to run when it starts running. It does not mean that we cannot have a pullback along the way. We can have a pullback along the way, and we need to plan accordingly, not going 137x on every move that's happening here, because the market will chop people out. How do we know that? Look at this. Up here, liquidity sweep to the upside, move back to the downside. Okay, push up to the upside, and then, okay, people go long here, sweep back to the downside. Move up inefficiently, consolidate, sweep back down to the downside. But each time we're going to the downside, what's happening? Ask yourself. Don't just look at the candles and say, this looks nice. Say, what is the narrative story that's being told to me right now? Because the market is trying to tell you what the narrative is. What we see here is that the bulls are defending the level at a higher point each time it comes down. This does not mean that there's not a possibility that we could still have a sweep down to 34 or 35, but that narrative is getting weaker and weaker as the strength and sentiment of this market gets stronger and stronger. And not only that, we can tell this not only by the sentiment in social media and fear and greed, but we can see it in the action of what's happening on the charts. We see it with this chart right here, capital flow. This is what makes money moves, because this is all about money moving into Bitcoin. What we're seeing on this chart is green line, red line, orange line. Simple. What the hell does it mean? This green metric, when this is green, this is above this $1 mark. Consider it a zero line. This is saying money is capital, funds, fuel for a bullish move is moving into Bitcoin. When this flips down here into this red area below this sort of, let's call it a zero line, this is saying money is being pulled out of the market. You have less fuel, less confidence. And what we're seeing here is that this is starting to trend up. And look how high these metrics can go when capital really starts flowing, when the FOMO really starts triggering this market. So what we're seeing right now, this is what should make you bullish. And if you're not bullish, I don't know what you're doing. What we're seeing right here is, think about how much this price has moved since January 2023. A year ago, a year of 13, 14 months ago. From the FTX collapse, this flat base right here, remember we saw a huge explosion in global liquidity, and then the markets moved up. Why? Because there's more global liquidity, and that money starts finding its ways into the markets and different assets and trickles down into those risk assets. Now, what we're seeing here, look how little capital has flowed comparatively with where the runs really start to get going. So what I'm saying here is, it's only just begun. But we need to make sure that we mind our manners. And the way we mind our manners in this market is to make sure we have a strategy, and we're not letting the emotions of the market maker, the skills of the market makers, to trigger emotions to take your money. So when we come back over to this chart, we're looking good. I still expect at some point we're going to get something like this where we just dip down into the red. We just dip down in the red. Over here, we came down and dipped and touched that zero line. And whatever that dip is going to be, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, we are setting up positively, and we can see that we have exited this phase, this fear phase, and we know this on a technical level looking at the price action, but let's look at it on the capital flow level. Capital flow is more interested now in being in increasing ways, being involved in Bitcoin than protecting themselves. And one could argue being involved in Bitcoin is protecting yourself from capital devaluation and almost all other currencies. So what does this mean? Well, we talked about this with this hidden bullish divergence, letting us know what's going on. Talked about the capital flow. Liquidations, let's go ahead and look at this really quick. This is going to, and I just want to shout out, we got a great super chat here. I didn't even read it yet. It said, happy to be in this space with you all. $20 super chat from Crypto Chronic. What's up? Thanks for teaching us how to fish instead of giving us a fish. Mahalo. Hey, mahalo to you if you are there in Hawaii. Aloha and mahalo. Mahalo means thank you for anybody that doesn't know. For speaking the truth, brother. The future is bright because of you. It says because use of you. Mahalo again. Thank you. And thank you anybody that does super chats. If I ever miss one, I do apologize. I try to keep this little viewer activity thing up so I can see it. Thank you to any super chat or any memberships. It really does help keep things going. And I just love you guys. I appreciate you. Let's talk about this liquidations. Okay, let's go to the 4 hour, not the 1 hour. Let's go to 12 hour actually. $76 million in short liquidations. This is people keep trying to bet on the price going down. That's not the worst thing in the world, but when you're talking about trying to capture the moves in a trend that have the best asymmetric risk to reward profile, meaning you're more likely to make money with the minimal risk. When you're looking at a trend, we've talked, I mean, look at this parabola that we formed here. This is clearly an uptrend. Even if you don't see the parabola, you can see that this is trending to the upside. When you have an uptrend, you're trying to look for opportunities to, let me go ahead and draw my thing, boom, right here. We're looking for opportunities to buy, to buy, to buy, to buy. It becomes increasingly more difficult and more risky to try to sell. Because what happens is, unless you are a professional trader with a lot of experience, if you come down here and you see this and you're like, oh, it's going back down, you short here only to have it reverse. And this also provides the fuel and the context for what allows very quick moves to happen, because all they need to do is look at the order book, see where liquidation levels are in the chart, and market makers can push the price to those levels to get a spring action to force basically short squeeze or long squeeze. So where we're at right now, look at this. I mean, we bounced right here on this parabolic sort of uptrend support level that we have right here. And we look at this, push up, little consolidation, and then launch. Now, this is on Heikin-Ashi candles. What does it look like on just traditional candles? I mean, this is so, I mean, if you guys aren't bullish, I don't know what the hell you're looking at. I want to see everybody in the chat. We asked earlier, but we got a lot more people in here now. Make sure, by the way, you're hitting that like button and you join us on this channel. We got the best family here in crypto. But let me know, out of all the coins that you own, what coin has performed best for you over this last week, and what coin has performed or hasn't performed as good. It might not have dropped value. Maybe everything's up in the last week. I don't know what your portfolio looks like, but there might be a coin that you've been holding that's not performing well yet. And the contrary belief is, oh, well, I want to add to the one that's ripping. Well, you're buying into the middle of a green candle. I just added this morning to Quant, because on this portfolio that I've been sharing with you guys that I just started stacking last week, Quant is, I just added 1,000 to this. Quant has basically been hovering around the same price. And so I was looking at everything. If I come back over to this, actually, let me go to 24 hour change. So let's go like this. Okay. So this is now moved around a bit, but Quant has been hovering around the same price. I didn't feel like I had enough exposure to it for the type of project that I think that it is and the tokenomics of it. And I was very under positioned in it. So I looked at this chart. Let's come back over here. Let's go to, make this large, just go to Quant. The green line is where I bought, and I made the first buy where this starts right here. What happened? Price went down, price pushed back up, price came back down, and now it's still hovering at this level. But what does this look like to you? What does this look like to you? We have a W formation here on Quant, boom, 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 and we have higher lows at the same point. We also have this money flow that looks like it's angling to the upside. So if we come here on the 8 hour, I just want you to notice, You see this is starting to curve, the momentum waves, all of it. It's looking to me like this is getting ready. I don't want to say to play catch up, but have its turn for a little bit of capital rotation and some eyes, because other people see this too. And it's a great project. They're like, well, man, this hadn't moved. This is still hovering in this 101 to 105 level. So I added $1,000 to it this morning. Basically, it was a very small position. I only had $1,000 worth. So now I got about 2,000, and I'm ready for, that move that everybody's waiting on. This type of move right here. Boom. I'm ready for it. I'm taking advantage of the market and the coins that are not performing. If the one's starting to run, that one's running. I could wait for a pullback on it and then add to it, but this one is not yet running. But coming back over to what we're talking about with Bitcoin, actually, I have a couple other things I want to share with you. By the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you're giving me a follow at Kelly Kellam, KELOYKELLAM. Make sure you're not following any of the scam. There's so many fake profiles out there. And of course, Academy BitLab, at Academy BitLab. Again, mine is KELOYKELLAM. So many people spell it wrong. But look at where we're at right here on the Bitcoin value map. Just notice in previous cycles, this fair value gets breached and gets up here into this overvalued zone, this yellow dotted line. It's gotten rejected. Comes up here, got rejected at the fair value, came back up, pushed up just under the overvalued, and then pulled back to the fair value. Similarly right here, pushed up to the overvalued, came back, found support on the fair value. Where we're at right now, let's go ahead and reload this just to make sure this is the most current one. Where's value map? There we go. We are flirting right around this level. Are we looking for a target up here in this $66,000 range? Well, this is based on a lot of different metrics in the market that the Rational Root has identified these levels. But let's look if there's any confluence. $66,000. Okay, coming back over here, looking at this chart. Let's see if there's anything that has a 66 sort of level. And I just want you to notice this previous range high, this little interest right here, support, 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 support. This is from this point we broke down. Let's go ahead and zoom over. Let's look at what the market says, $66,000. So there's two different data points we just identified. The $66,000 could be a very interesting point. What else is $66,000? $66,000 is also right about, we had a double top here, right about this previous high, which is 64, 65, and this high right here, which is 69. Let's go ahead and draw a box. What's in the box? Drag this across. Look at that. That's right in the middle of what these two previous all-time high areas were. This high and then this true all-time high. And notice that we have a confluent point here of a very large sticking point on price that also is confluent with this rising level of previous resistance, flip to support. Now this is going to act as somewhat of a resistance. This also makes sense because it's just below the all-time high. There is going to be, more likely than not, some interest and caution in traders and taking some profits in their positions between this point, which is this range high right here. See how, look at where we've stopped. I mean, you guys can't make this up. The market gives you the roadmap of areas to look for. Once this very well could come down, find support here, push up, find support here again. It might take some work. It might go straight there. Who knows with what's been happening with price action recently. But what we can see is this level is just shy of the previous all-time high, which would be a good metric to consider a concern and just a cautious approach when we reach this level, because we may have a little bit of chop here. The reason I say this is so you're aware that if we do push up from here and reject back down, let's say we push all the way up into here, you have to be aware of this stuff. Otherwise, your emotions get triggered and you give other people your money. That's not what we're here for. If you're here to give other people your money in the market, throw a 1 in chat. And I hope I see 0 ones in chat. We want to give money away. Let's give it to friends. Let's give it to family. Let's give it to charity. Let's give it to homeless. Let's not give it to somebody that's in the same market that is triggering our emotions to take our money from us. We're here to grow our assets so that we can be more used to our life, to our families, to our friends, to our neighbors. We want to grow money, not give it away in this sense. But what we can see here is if this were to rocket showed up here, I would be very concerned, and I'd say I'm looking for an opportunity to buy when it dips. And if it were to dip all the way back to here, I mean, this would be, just be aware of this. Hold on. Where's my measuring tool? That would be a 20% drop. And some people are going to be, some people, the capo of crypto and other very bearish people out there, they're going to say, if this starts dropping, yeah, we're going back down to 24,000. But this is something that we can see. One, we have a rising parabolic support level that's coming up and through here. And if this does rocket up there, that's a very inefficient move. So if this were to happen, it may reverse immediately. It may chop sideways. It may hold here for a while and then move up. But either way, I do think the $66,000 level is going to be something that we need to be aware of, not necessarily fully concerned with, but aware that there's going to be some interesting price activity that happens at that level. But that's going to be not in the immediate future. I think that's going to, if I had to guess, I mean, we talked about this the other day, these large impulses and then sideways actions retrace. Large impulse, sideways action, retrace. Large impulse, sideways action, retrace. Sideways action, large impulse, sideways and up. This was growing pressure. If the ETF was not going to be the speculative thing which culminated right here, January 10th. See this peak? This is the ETF approvals. This otherwise, if that ETF wasn't on the docket with the final approval, I think this more likely than not would have been sideways, but people get less and less willing to sell. And so you see the price moving higher. This is what we're seeing. Now we got the fall. We're getting a pretty substantial move to the upside. Again, from January 22nd right here, this so far has been a 35% move, 35% move up into this level. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. This is incredible. This feels great. We're seeing the market absolutely rip. Let's go ahead and refresh this page. We're seeing things move. Bitcoin, 7-day, 19%. Ethereum up 13%. Solana, 19%. Cardano, things are doing well in this market. But I do have to ask, when I see this, based on the historical trends of any asset out there that's a legitimate asset, we see large impulses followed by some sort of consolidation of narrative and then a decision point, right? A decision point for what the next move is going to be. We also see this very clearly if we pull up the Bollinger Bands. This is what these show. Bollinger Bands have a 20 moving average in the middle, okay? So you're getting the average price of the last 20 candles. So we're on the daily. So this is the average price of the last 20 days. And then we have these two bands above and below. It shows you with a 95% probability, basically two standard deviations above and below of based on the last 20 period, where the price action is most likely going to be contained within. And this is why we see when this drops, this is volatility. We see the Bollinger Bands expand because now the points at which the price can maybe travel between is going to be wider because we have a large volatile move. When we see a period of consolidation like this, yes, we had a move here, but it's still within these bands. But for the most part, this is consolidating sideways, not a lot of volatility. What do we see? The Bollinger Bands constrict. So right now we're at a point of expansion, meaning volatility has expanded. Another way to look at this, let me go ahead and pull up the BBWP, Bollinger Band width percentile. What this is showing you, when this is very high, there's a lot of volatility. When this is very low, there's very low volatility. So there's an oscillation, just like in price up, down. There's an oscillation in the volatility. A lot of volatility, big move. And then what you're going to get after that typically is a period of constriction of that volatility, meaning you'll see this come down when price cools off a little bit. There's no way to tell whether or not we're ready for it to just go sideways or not yet. But what this is saying is right now, unless you're willing to buy and hold for the next 16 to 18 months, a good period of time, do not buy the top of a green candle because you're going to be this person right here to have it reverse or this person right here to have it reverse. So that's fine so long as you have the ability to not buy here and then get scared here and sell. be aware of the market dynamics that are going on in this market. Let's go out and look at some better charts, some other charts, I should say, not better, just different view. Now, here we go. We're on the 15 minutes. Now, what do we see? We got the BitLab trading stack up. This broke below the trend signal line here and then flipped right back above it. Came over here, found support on this 20 moving average right here, this EMA ribbon, push up, came down, found support, and just launched here. Now, what do we see here? What do we see now? We see this price action to the upside. Now we see this rolling over. I talked about this a lot yesterday. Let's look at the angles of attack. Very strong. Great. What do we see? Rolling over a bit. What do we see here? Rolling over a lot a bit. And now what do we got right here? We have a little bit of a lower low followed by potentially a lower high. And we've broken through this trend signal line right here, which is green still, but we've broken below it. Now we look like we're coming up and finding a little bit of resistance at this level. Now, this does not say the price has to break down. This shows that the data points currently are setting up, and this is a 15-minute chart, for a potential retrace, which would not be the worst thing in the world. And we already have some levels marked out. We have the order block that's directly below us right here. This would be great. And this would also be defending still above that 50,000 level. We also can clear out this inefficiency that we see in the market, which is this very fast move to the upside and price action potentially flushing down somewhere. Let's see right here, option J, previous range high. And so what do we see? That's right where I drew it. Okay, so coming down and flushing out a good bit of this liquidity since we didn't really establish the stair step pattern that we want to see on market uptrends. So what we're seeing right now is incredible on the macro. On the macro, I mean, look at this. On the macro, this is just breaking doors, liquidity wash out to the upside, liquidity wash out to the downside, and then launch up to the upside. So what we want to pay attention to right here is what is the next move? Well, here on the 3-day, positive money flow, stochastics angled up, RSI angled up. Let's get down to the daily. Daily positive money flow, which flipped right here. Look at this. This flipped right here, right as this was getting ready to launch up. Money flow gives you these signals. Momentum expanding, positive money flow. Let's get down to the 4-hour. We're going to get more and more granular. Okay, 4-hour, what do we see? 4-hour, let's go ahead and delete these two lines here. Come on. What do we see right here? This is a little concerning because now we're seeing on the 4-hour, we have a large bullish impulse, decreasing volume. Okay. What does this mean? Less is being traded at this level. We also have two candles that signify a potential reversal. It doesn't mean it has to happen, but two potential reversal candles. Basically, two kind of a shooting star, kind of a hammer candle, but let's just call them both, spinning top style. Large bullish impulse, lot of bullish narrative. Now, very neutral, very neutral. These tend to, see this? See these similar candle structures? See others. See right here? Boom. Get smaller, large impulse, smaller candles, and then reversal. Until ultimately come down, expansion to the downside, smaller candle, reversal. So what we're seeing right now, it's still very bullish, but we are at a point, which is a previous range high, which we talked about. Small damn chart. Boom. Previous range high. This previous range high right here, 51.8. This is that level that we're tapping on here on all the time frames. See, we tapped it right there, and I wouldn't be mad. I'd be okay. I'd be excited because I'm actually DCAing some more in next week. So I'd like a pullback. And the chart is starting to show that we have at least maybe a bull flag forming, maybe a reversal. The point is we have to let time do the work. So the setup is there so that we have the signals that do not disprove the move that we're looking to take the trade on. So let's get down more granular, down to the 1-hour. Now, I talked about this on yesterday's stream, these two paths. I just told you about that. And we also had this, let's get down to the 15-minute actually. We also have this reversal pattern here that bounced right on the support of this point, now projected out right here. And we also had this box with all of this chop right here come into confluence with each other. And where did the price come down to? Price came down, high selling volume on the BitLab trading stack. That's these purple candles. a lot of selling volume was saying, yeah, we want to go lower. And then we have stopping volume, push up, come back down. We form a W formation. And this price point that we looked at is based on where I drew this arrow up to, is based on this formation right here with this dip, rise up, a bit of a kind of cup and handle formation. It turns out to be a very long handle. Option T gives us the trend line. Measure this from this neckline all the way down here to the deepest point and measure this out up into this region. And we can see that the price action did. It pushed right into, see if we go like this. This is right where price action came up into. Got a little frothy, a little higher, but the target gave us an idea where it was going. And this is why we drew this line about this potentially happening. And what happened? That's what happened. The price action was telling us where it likely could go, and this is what's happening. Now, I'm a little concerned on an immediate, in the next few hours, another move to the upside, because this is showing a little bit of rolling overness, a move to the downside, followed by a move to a lower high. So we have a lower low, lower high of this range. Are we going to get another spring like this, spring launch? Or are we going to break down and continue to the low side? As it stands right now, it's kind of a little bit of a waiting game because things are getting frothy. You know, we can see on the BitLab, not on the BitLab, we could see, where is it at? Somewhere here. Let me go. Right here. You see $27 million short position liquidation. And after this, we don't generate upside volatility quickly, meaning buying volume comes back in and supports this. So we had the inefficient move from the forced buying, from the short squeeze, from the shorts being forced close. Now the question is going to be, do spot buyers and other buying pressure come in and support the move after that flush out to the upside happens? Because if we don't, then we can see, like we've seen back here, when we have this large spike and short squeeze, we get that sideways action and potential a little bit of a retrace. So I'm prepared for it if it happens. And what do we got on the 2 hour? Look at these trend shifts on the BitLab trading stack. This is on the BitLab Intelligence, part of that stack you get when you get the BitLab trading stack. High volume, stopping volume, and we got a trend shift right here. And we see the stochastics are getting relatively high. They're up here in the 90%. We see the RSI is up and kind of angled flat here. We see a little bit of bearish divergence here on the momentum waves. And the money flow looks like it is kind of rolling over a little bit. So the question is going to be, when will we get the pullback? Not if. We may break through 52 up to 55 and then get a pullback. But this is telling me right now, we can see the construction similarly in all these previous consecutive moves. Quick move up, a little bit of cool off. Quick move up, a little bit of cool off. Now this move itself was roughly, come on, give me the damn. This move itself was, that wasn't a big pullback. That was only 2%, okay, 1.8. This move right here from the top of this wick, right here, boom, to that downside, about 3%. Doesn't matter, right? 3%, who cares? The point is, these 3% moves to the downside cause a huge number of untrained, uneducated traders that are trading on their emotions. They see this push up, they get 3%, and some people are selling right here. I'm looking for buy opportunities right now. I'm not looking for selling opportunities. Now, another option here is we have this weekly VWAP, which is a great level to be watching, that if we do get a drop down into the zone, this is also right at this, let's see, let's go to, so you see this line right here projecting out, and then here it connects, forms this level. So we've been breaking through these levels and then testing them as support previously. So what's stopping this right here from, let's go back to that 2 hour time frame we're looking at. There we go. This is that line. This dotted line is that line that we're just looking at. And we have this box right here, which would be an excellent opportunity. Very bullish, actually. If the price action were to drop and come down into this region, this essentially 49,187 to I mean, anywhere between 50 and 49. If we can find support anywhere in here and continue up, we're defending that $50,000 mark, $50,000 region, while also performing the stair build that we need to, that we want to see for healthy movement to the upside, which is right. Oops. Which is, come on, there we go. Rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation, retrace, building the staircases, building the steps we want for healthy movement to the upside. Now remember, we get pretty large pullbacks along the way in crypto, so we want to kind of look at some of these other things. Let's go over to Ethereum. Ethereum making some moves. Let's actually go right here real quick. I just want to show you something. Ethereum, BTC, there we go. Let's go to the 3-day. Okay, I just want you to notice something. Here, we got these very large moves. Very large move. Basically, downtrend on the value of Ethereum denominated in the value of Bitcoin. Now, why do we care about this? Even if you don't trade this specific pair, this is going to help give you a signal about when altcoins are going to really start to perform. So what we're seeing right now, we're getting this angle getting a little wider each time, but what we can also see is we've got this move right here. It's happening again. We want to really watch when Ethereum breaks out of this downtrend that we've had and starts pushing to the upside, because this means that Ethereum, and then also following that, other altcoins will also likely start performing very well. So when we look at ETH to the US dollar pairing, we're seeing this move to the upside, and we got a little bit of not descending. We have a little bit of a resistance area that we need to watch when this does push up. This is, nearing 2,749. This level right above us would be, let's see, $3,000. So this $3,000 mark, look at that, is directly above us, right in line with the rising level of resistance. So let's just pay attention to that, because rising level of resistance is, and do we have, is this a bull flag? Not a bull flag, a triangle. Not really a clear, kind of more of a channel. So rising channels tend to have a lot of tests. So this very well could push up in here and come back down and test into 2,000. I'm leaning very much more bullish here, because we do have positive money flow. You see this flip from pink to now it's flashing blue. Stochastics angle to the upside, RSI's angle to the upside, and this is the 3-day chart. So what does it look like on the 4-hour chart? 4-hour chart, let's turn on the BitLab trading stack. Look at this, 2 bullish divergences. So let's get down to the 4-hour. It's like there's a lot of underlying attempts by the bears to push it down, and it's just tiny little retraces. You got a little M formation right here, finding support. Look at this on this trend signal line. Boom. On the 20 moving average EMA ribbon here on the dynamic support zone, BitLab trading stack. Boom, boom, boom. It loses it only to launch back higher, comes down, finds support on the VWAP, this yellow line, and the trend signal lines, dynamic support zone, push higher. Okay, positive money flow. Things are looking quite good, actually, for Ethereum right now. Comes right up into this order block region right here. That's where does this go back to? Ooh-wee, this goes back far, baby. Man, this back. Yeah, I don't even want to go back that far. It's large order block on the 1 hour that we're pushing our head up against. But this is really what we're watching here is the $3,000 mark. Remember, we have the ETH ETF on the horizon. We saw the speculative drive that we saw on Bitcoin leading into that decision, and then a subsequent sell-off. So we need to be aware of that as well. But things are looking bullish right now. We are having some dropping volume here, so this is a little concerning. So if we do get a pullback, watch for a bounce somewhere around this $2,300 to $2,500 mark, because we have this range right here sideways, and we have this attempt higher right here. So basically above, I mean, this is a level that I bought Ethereum on when I added to that portfolio, which is right here. It's a great mark for a potential bounce area. And if we lose this, then potential further down. And I'll be buying if this drops below that level. Why? Because I want to lower my average entry. Let's see. I don't know why it doesn't show me. I can't see the data. It doesn't, for whatever reason. I don't know why. It doesn't tell me how many people are watching. It doesn't show. Hopefully this is live. Hopefully everybody throw a 1 in chat if we're live, if we're flowing, because it's not showing me any data on the stream. And also, are you an Ethereum holder? Are you bullish on Ethereum? And the question you have to ask yourself right now is, did you hit the like button? Show some love. Hit that subscribe button and join us. And by the way, before we go any further, I just want to mention, if you haven't done your crypto taxes yet, get your crypto taxes done. Decrypted.tax/hit when this web page loads. There we go. Decrypted.tax/hit. Make sure you get your crypto taxes done and plug in all your wallets and all the stuff from the different places. Get a crypto tax professional to do it. The sooner you do it, more likely you're going to find out if you get money back. And if you get money back, you can throw it in the market. That's obviously of your own decision making, but make sure you check out decrypted.tax. Now coming back over to Ethereum, where are we at? Right here. This is looking good. This is looking good. Yeah, again, I'm watching for any pullback opportunities. A likely bounce here at the $2,500 level because these candle body tops right in here. That's on the 3-day. On the 4-hour, there we go. See how we're pushing right into this order block zone. So yeah, I'd be watching for a potential pullback, but I'm going to lean more bullish on Ethereum as this ETF narrative gets stronger and stronger over the coming months. Now, Link, lower low, lower high. Is this signifying that we may be having a little bit of a pullback here? That's a 1-hour chart though. So yeah, this actually looks more bullish. But we do have, look at this, these washouts, impulse chopping both directions, 2 bearish divergences printed right here, right at the point that we're finding resistance on this trend signal line, only to pull back. The bullish case here is though that we still, we have positive money flow. It's blue. The stochastics came down and bounced and are angled up. The RSI bounced right here and pushed up, but we do have a little bit of a concern because the RSI is not starting to angle back up yet. What is it looking like on the 1-hour? Yeah, this is stochastics angled down. RSI is angled up though. I would want to see this get back above this 2045. Because this is giving me vibes like it wants to make a move lower. But see, option J, we already came down and tested this. If this does move lower, I'll be watching this region right here, 1950 to 1970, because this is this range low. If we lose this range low, then we're likely coming down a bit further. Right about here looks like it's probably the golden pocket too. Option F from the bottom to the top. And look at that. Yeah, the golden pocket's right here. So if we do make a move to the downside, $19 is going to be a great area to reaccumulate some more Link. But we see on this move, up, down, up, we formed a M formation. And in this M formation, look at this high, look at this high. And when you see 2 highs, the first thing you should do is then whatever indicators you have, look to the data points. We have a high and a higher high. Okay. Now on this point right here, I'm just going to put right here, option V. Great. Now I'm going to double click on my oscillator and okay, we had a high and a higher high. Do we have a high and a higher high here? No, we have weaker data points where the price was pushing higher, meaning we have less fuel for that move. If we're looking at the MACD and RSI and stochastics and money flow, you want to look just at stock indicators that are here in TradingView. Higher high on MACD, lower high. RSI, higher high, lower high. Stochastics, higher high, lower high. Money flow, higher high, lower high. Everything here, regardless of what you're using, was suggesting. Here we go. The Lux Algo, oscillator matrix, higher high, lower high. Well, we're getting on every different type of indicator you can look at. Let's look at Market Cipher, higher high, lower high. Great. And then BitLab Trading Stack, same thing on the momentum, stochastics, RSI. Everything was suggesting this was likely a point of weakness and a move could be coming to the downside. And this is what we're getting. Now, what do we see on Avalanche? Ooh, look at this nice choppy range in here. Okay, we're on the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. 2 bullish divergences twice in a row. Demand index, the momentum, and then we also had the money flow and stochastics right in this period. And then we got a move back to the upside, but we're also seeing, look at this, stochastics were coming down as this was loading, and this didn't really get much of a move. So I'm looking at potential weakness coming in here in this $41 to $43 range, likely potential rejection at some point for a retrace. Now, we also have this rising level of support that is below us here on Avalanche, and this is right where I bought, right here. So we have this move rolling up, coming down, finding some support on this level, and we see the momentum is swinging to the upside. And right here, notice that back here, the stochastics are moving, the RSI is moving up before this happens. So strength was increasing in the background, and then we get this move to the upside. Where we're at right now, though, we're getting a little bit of a triple top sort of situation here. Boom, boom, boom. It's kind of like an M. An M pattern is a double top. This is the triple top. Currently, that's not yet confirmed. If we start moving down and lose $39.24, then I think we're coming down into this order block range here that's confluent with this rising level of support down here at this 37 mark. If we lose that, then likely move lower. But things are leaning so bullish right now. And let's see. Oh, I do want to talk about this from Jesse Olson. He's going to be joining me on my Crypto Answered podcast on Twitter, on X, which I will be starting again, I believe, next week. And that is this banner. I haven't been doing the podcast in about 4 months because we've been getting BitLab in order. But I'm going to be doing Thursdays again. Jesse Olson is a great guest to have on. He's got so much knowledge. But he just pointed out DOT, ADA, Cardano, and MATIC all have pending buy signals on his monthly charts. And he talked about the same signals he was using on Bitcoin, that when that signal flashed, Bitcoin was down at $34,000. Look where Bitcoin is now. Ethereum was at 1,800. Look at where it is now. Chainlink was less than half what it is now. Solana, almost less than half than what it was now. So let's go ahead and look at DOT, ADA, and MATIC, and then we'll wrap out the stream. So DOT, how many of you guys are DOT holders? How many of you suckers are DOT holders? I'm gonna refresh this so I can see if hope I didn't miss any super chats. Here we go. Okay, I see the 5 gifts from Alexander G. Thank you again, and Crypto Chronic. A big love to everybody that's here. And we got I don't know why this does that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. There's people here. Doesn't matter if I can see how many are there. But the question is right now, surprise me at the end of this stream, hit the like button. Join us here. Now coming back over here, DOT, what do we got? We're looking at the 4-hour order block right here. We're coming right into it. Order block back up here as well at 873. So we could talk about that in a little bit, but as it stands right now, we've got this move that has been pushing the upside. And look at this on the BitLab trading stack. Look at this call. Boom. This called this to the downside. This called this right to the upside. Boom. We also see the money flow turn positive back here, and we've been getting this move to the upside, finding support here on the weekly VWAP. By the way, these indicators you can get right now at the cheapest price we've ever sold them for, bundled with stuff, and you get a free 30-day trial for the premium Discord if you go to, let me go ahead and copy this link for you guys. This is expiring this weekend, so take advantage of this. Let me refresh this page so you can see Joshy Boy talking in the background. But get this now, deal expiring, and that is act now. That is at lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. Again, that's lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. You sign up right here. You get a free 30-day trial to the Discord. We are going to be doing an event this afternoon, and there's also one Friday. We do these regularly. We have charts. We have everything in the BitLab Discord. And as soon as you sign up for that, make sure you check your email. It shows you how to get all the right permissions for the premium roles to see all the channels. But then you'll see right after this, there's an upgrade offer that gives you the BitLab trading stack, which is the BitLab volume, the BitLab intelligence, and the BitLab trend fuel, all these oscillators that I'm using, all of this stuff. The volume profile and order blocks, the intelligence here with the moving averages and signals, and then as well as the BitLab trim fuel. Get all that and the courses for $57. The premium Discord is only, I think that ends up being $25 after the 30 days, the lowest bundle we've ever done. So take advantage of that. Again, I posted this in the BitLab Academy. There we go. I'm going to pin that tweet there. lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. Join us. We got a great community, and it's the best way to help support this community as well, because it allows us to bring in other teachers, and we're starting to expand on the courses and stuff that we have, you know, all these, and we're adding stuff. So I'm telling you guys, get in there. Now, DOT pushing up 4 hour. We got a little bit of bearish divergence here. You see the high on this orange and purple line and lower over here. Again, we're looking at this point right here. This point right here. Okay, let's look at this on what's going on the trend fuel. Okay, we have higher points here and lower points here, whereas at the same time, we're having higher points on price. So the fuel is not yet fully agreeing with this on the 4 hour, but when we're looking at the weekly, when we look at the weekly, look at this move. On the weekly, on this larger time frame, this is setting up for a large move to the upside. The next zone to look for is up here in the $11 to $13 range, which would be basically testing this region right here, previous range low in this zone. So we got two levels. We got the wick. Oops. We have the wick and the body. So yeah, this $11 to $12 range, we're only at 7 right now. The next zone up from that is up here in this range at 17. The next range from that is up here at this order block and this price action high at 30. The next range up is 54. We are still so early in this market. So look at this. Drop, a breakout of this structure here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And this is looking like it may be setting up for a move to the upside. We got the money flow is still negative on the weekly, but the stochastics is starting to turn and the RSI is already starting to angle up. What does it look like on the 3-day? Okay, bounced, RSI is angled up. Momentum wave, we have a deeper momentum wave, smaller one here. Money flow turned positive. Fuel or bullishness is what we want to call that. But these are the immediate levels that we need to watch. Right above us, this $8 region. Got a lot of order block zone in here. So when we slice up through this, this is really where we're watching this 950 range, 940 to 915 to 950, this range right here. Once we clear that, then we're really continuing that structure to the upside. So DOT looking great. They're doing some great partnerships recently. A lot of development. And MATIC. Look at MATIC. Look at this. Kind of an inverse head and shoulders here. So boom. Not only did his signal say it, the chart patterns are telling us that this may be trying to make a move. Look at that. Right up into this range. This order block range, which is a previous range high up here at $1.73. Yeah, money flow just flipped positive on MATIC right here, February 3rd. We got the reversal signal right here. See these right here? Setting up for a move. Boom, boom, boom. We got this right here. It's telling you there might be something brewing for some upside price action. Do you hold MATIC? That's the question I got for you guys. Compton. Big love to everybody here. Let's see. But yeah, again, by the way, guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you're giving me a follow at Kelly Kellum. I've been seeing a lot of fake profiles out there lately. So make sure you're giving the correct profiles a follow. And the other one was, where was it? Right here, BitLab Academy, which is at Academy BitLab. Big love to all you. We got one more coin to look at, MATIC. Yeah, this is looking great. If we do drop, then we've got a lot of room below us for support. And I'm not concerned with drops right now. I'm looking for opportunities if it does drop, but this is looking bullish as this structure has been going. There was one other coin though. What was it? Or Cardano. Cardano. This is where the blue line is where I bought Cardano. Not just the candle, but that level is literally, look at that buy. Boom. Rising level, higher low. Got the trend shift right here, and then we got the reversal right there, push up. Boom, pushing up. This is looking like it wanted to roll over. It bounced and is pushing higher. Where is it trying to push into? This is on the 2 hour. It's getting held a little suppressed under this order block region that's up here in the $59 to $64 region. Where did the price go on here though? It's pushed up into the, I'm looking up here, OHLC, open, high, low, close. So this highest candle was 58.35 sort of region. And where is it coming back down to right now? Potentially testing this range high previously, which is healthy. W formation, higher, higher, low right here, break to the upside. We'd like to see a little bit of the test, boom, back down of this previous range high and hold there and continue up if we're looking for this target, 60 cents, and the next target up here, 63 cents. But let's see, if this does lose this, then we have a good number of things that we can look to for where these levels can go. And look at this, previous range high in line with about where the 0.382 fib is right here. If we lose this level, come down, we're going to be watching this region right here in the 55-cent region, which is a golden pocket. Now, if this completely collapses and this is a fake out to the upside and then breaks back down, remember, good. That means I believe in the projects that I'm buying. That means that I can buy if this does roll over, because this is a little concerning that this is kind of rolling over like this. Yes, we got a higher high here, but there's no real structural integrity of this up move yet until we get a pullback and we see where the bulls defend. Whether the bulls defend up here, the bulls defend here, or they actually come all the way back down here. That would suck if they wash us out both directions, which is what the market does more often than not. The other opportunity also is if this comes down, comes up, rejects, and then actually tests down in the 50 cent or below. As it stands right now, on the 1 hour, just turned positive money flow. The stochastics are angled down with the RSI and all this kind of stuff, but the structure is looking generally like it's wanting to move higher. I'd be watching for a break of, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'd be watching for a break of this level right here, because looking at this like this, I'm also noticing we have a bit of a broadening wedge. So potential test all the way back down to here, 54 cents. And if we lose that, we may be making another move lower. But all in all, we see some bearish divergences here as this is pushing up. But all in all, this is setting up. Remember, over the next 2-3 months, any dips that happen right now, I'm looking for opportunities to buy because I'm feeling good. Now, everybody right now, it's price action was today, broke above 52,000. We're sitting here at 51.5 on the chart right now. I want every one of you that's in the chart right now, ask yourself, did you hit that like button? Have you subscribed? Join us here. Have you gotten involved in our Discord yet? Where we're sharing, John Dalton and Corduroy and myself, we've been breaking down some great stuff in here. I'm also sharing you exactly what I'm doing with my portfolio. I added to Quant today this morning because it's one of the only coins in my portfolio that hasn't moved in the last week. So I added to it. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. Use that link, lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. You can join for free. It'll be a 30-day trial, and then it basically rolls over to the lowest price that we've ever charged for our premium. And you also get the opportunity to upgrade and use the BitLab trading stack and all the other stuff for the lowest price that we've ever offered. And it's Valentine's Day, so it's a special love to all of you, every one of you. I appreciate you. I will see you all this afternoon in the Discord. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember to be kind and rewind. Now, be kind. Have a wonderful day. Drop your comments down below where you think the price is going at the end of this month. Comment below the video, not in the live chat. Where do you think price is going to be on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano and Link at the end of this month, February 28th, February 27th, whatever the last day of February is? I'm ready for the bull ride to just keep rolling, but I'm watching for those pullbacks. I love you guys. That's all I got. Adios. Pump the jam, pump it up. Man, these markets pumping. Everybody, I love you. And adios, muchachos. Hit that like button. Join us in the BitLab community. Use that link, lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. And I will see you guys in the charts.